There I am. Good morning. It's Tuesday, December 12th. CPI came in line. The headline numbers did, but I'm not sure it's enough to keep this rally going. TLT is really what I'm looking at, right? We need to look at this. This is just picture perfect with the bonds getting resisted at the 200 DMA. And I think I mentioned the app this morning. What we really need to do is break that 200 DMA at 96.02. You can see the pre-market reaction kind of flat. The core CPI number was a little bit hot, if you ask me. If you annualize it, actually I did that, it comes to 3.6. We need to get to about 2%. So our core CPI is still 3.6. There are some categories that look pretty high to me. Man, what was it? Restaurants and cars. I mean, it was just like airline and gasoline was down, right? So oil prices helped this print. But like the core CPI, I'm not sure because we've been stretched for so long. And I think to be comfortable that this risk on rally is going to go higher, I want to see TLT go over $96. Okay, so a little bit of concern there. We'll see today. But I'm just a little bit worried that this was not enough to keep the rally going in the immediate term. All right. So with that being said, how do I look at trade opportunities? It's going to be a little bit harder, I think. It's not like every stock is going up. You really got to be looking at individual catalysts to see if you can find something specific that's going to buck the market trend. That's how I look at it. We'll look at some of these stocks we've been following. There have been recent catalysts on a lot of these. So we'll look at those charts, see if they can have continuation, even if the market kind of consolidates or pulls back. That's the way I want to look at the market today. In fact, you know what? Before we look at this list, let's open our app to make sure we're not missing any news over here. So here's my news feed on a bunch of stocks I follow. Let's just refresh that. Make sure I'm not missing anything. So as of 9 a.m., AMD, Target, DLPN, Twilio, DAIO, Carvana. Okay, there's some news on Carvana. Chicago Fire FC kicks off multi-year partnership with Carvana's official online auditor. Okay, I don't think that's significant, but the chart looks nice. We'll go over that in a second. Okay, and I think I saw the rest of these. LuckD, Lucid Diagnostics announces peer-reviewed publication on positive results from preclinical utility studies. Curious about this. We did interview the CEO on this. I have a little bit of background on it. Esophageal cancer test. Near perfect concordance between these regardless and personal visitor whether we're probably okay. All right, I'm gonna put LuckD just so I can look into it further a little bit more. There was a little bit of news on CTLP. All right, we're gonna put that on the list. Okay, so I got a few things to look at. Let me just add LuckD up here so I can look into it a little bit more. Probably a bit later. I don't think I saw anything in that release that would cause me to be like, let's buy it right now. 137. Okay. So I'm going to research that later, move that down. All right. Well, look, a couple things worked out yesterday. Man, Bitcoin, can you believe this? I had set this alert here, and I don't know if I did it live on the show or in the chat room, but it was a 20 DMA. I was looking for a 20 DMA bounce. It basically bounced right off of the 20 DMA. I was waiting for that alert to hit my screen, and then maybe I would have bought some. And it didn't hit. I looked back later, and it missed it by like $10. Okay. But in after hours, I saw that bounce. And in after hours, I did add a little bit of iron that I'd sold earlier in the morning. So Bitcoin's still looking good above that 20 DMA. It's been riding up that 20. I don't think there's a reason to not be bullish on Bitcoin unless we go below that 20 DMA, not just a wick, but like have a daily close below the 20 DMA. Okay. Until we have that, I'm still very bullish on Bitcoin. So I was playing with my allocations the last few days, and I just re-upped the IREN, IREN, in after hours yesterday at $5. It's here at $5.13 now. Okay. So that took a big hit yesterday because of that big drop in Bitcoin, but bouncing off the 20, that looks good. All right, we got that right yesterday. Argentina also, although I didn't really play, or I only played with YPF. Well, I'm up on it now because I held it overnight, but barely. I think I got it with 17. But really, the big winner of the Argentina call yesterday was Melli. You have that big green open candle. ARGT also had an open green candle. Most of these Argentina stocks did do what I predicted yesterday. It was a sea of red yesterday morning. And I predicted we'd see a bunch of, open green candles. It wasn't everything, though, to be honest with you. It was about 70% of the list flipped to green. Oh, you can see it now here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it was like 65% of the list or something. Went from all deep red, and a bunch of them had green closes. So all in all, that idea worked out. If you had played it, or if you have a diversified basket, or if you chose ARGT or Melli. Like I said, I chose YPF. I'm up a little bit on it. So will there be continuation in Argentina? I think that's something to consider with Milei coming in and doing those executive orders, cutting out all those departments, deregulation, lower taxes. Look at this beautiful chart since he won the election. Still looks good to me. Argentina, I still think, is a good pick here in the intermediate term until the story changes. All right, so that's something to consider. So Argentina, crypto. In fact, let's pull them up because I don't have a ton of catalysts today. So I'll go through a couple of things that I do have. But we're going to put Argentina and Bitcoin at the top of the list again, 2 days in a row to monitor. All right. Now, a few things I want to mention. Carvana looks very interesting, but I really want to monitor TLT and ARK-K to really have a green signal on this. So Carvana, I think I gave you this these numbers for a few days now. I'm looking for this to break 42.12. If it breaks 42.12, then we're talking mid 50s. And if you go to the week for a while, as long as the markets don't crash and TLT kind of stays above its moving averages and RK stays above its moving averages, I think mid 50s are coming. And I think the trigger is going to be either a break above 42.12 or some sort of important catalyst. All right. Neither of those has happened yet. But Carvana was up near 42 this morning in early pre market, which tells you that people want this to fly. Volume 228,000. There's a little bit of like risk on in lower quality names right now. You can see it early in pre-market. Let me go to my, sorry, where's my risk list? Okay. Risk here, Beyond, look at this. Beyond up 4%. Carvana, again, was up 3-4% early this morning. So the traders out there, they want this so bad. All right. They're trying to force short squeezes all over the place. But the market also has to cooperate. I don't think they can single-handedly do that. But Carvana, let me just talk about Beyond for a second. Beyond, a very low quality name. I think they're going to go bankrupt. But you got a bullish cross here. You have all sorts of breakouts going on here. You're right at a resistance level right there. See the prior support at about $10. So it's 10.31 in pre-market. This could make a move to $12, at which point I would consider getting puts on this thing at $12. It could be bullish between 10 and 12, but fundamentally, it's hard for me to go long on this stock because fundamentally, I do believe they're going bankrupt. So keep an eye on Beyond for a possible move to 12, but then a short idea on Beyond after that. Okay, so Beyond is up here to watch at the top of our list. Maybe to 12 first. So Beyond and Carvana. So let's put these up here. So Carvana and Beyond. Beyond is already like above that breakout level. If it holds 10, we can make a move to 12 already. All right. Again, it's hard for me to give my wholehearted endorsement of this because I'm not a pure technical trader. I do want fundamentals to be in line. So it's very hard for me to pull the trigger on stocks like this. All right. So, but in any case, it looks great technically. And again, let's look at the macro list. Let's look at TLT, RK. RK is up 0.6%. So that might be enough. If RK stays up 0.5% and doesn't go red today, it might be enough to push stocks like Beyond and Carvana up today. So those are on our radar. CRISPR, Cathie Woods did buy $11 million worth of CRISPR yesterday. The CEO was on CNBC last night. The stock popped in after hours last night. You can see that here. It's holding its after hours pop right now at $61. Let's just review the chart here. Unfortunately, it's not in a great spot, man. Where's the high of the day here? 60.41 and the low here 60.80. So let's try to stay above 60.80. Man, this is not a beautiful chart. We could go down to these key moving averages right here, the 50 and the 200 day moving averages around $53. That's possible. But we did have two catalysts last night. Cathie Woods, after 8 p.m. coming out, disclosing she bought another $11 million worth of CRISPR, and the CEO interview, which everyone was pumped up about. So what's that 20 DMA at 66.29? It's in an area of a lot of volatility, I guess you could say. So $53 to 66 is the playground, I guess, this is going to be playing in. Going to be very volatile, but I'm not sure that we're going to see a quick move above 66 and regain that 20 DMA. I think we're probably just going to be between these key moving averages and chop until the next major catalyst is my prediction for CRISPR right now. INVZ, we had a great idea in the community in our chat room yesterday from Jan, I believe it was. Okay, it's up there somewhere. INVZ, we are familiar with this company as the stock which prevented my laser from exploding because Goldman Sachs had a sell rating on laser. Why? Because they're so bullish on INVZ. This story goes back about a year. Okay, INVZ, meanwhile, in that year did terrible, right? $62. But now you're getting multiple catalysts. You're getting a lot of analysts jumping on top of this thing in recent weeks. So it's not only Goldman Sachs, but now you also have, who was it? Was it JP Morgan? Well, I know you have Citron, the short seller, all right, bullish on INVZ. Man, that short seller is bullish on a couple stocks here, like Geo, INVZ. Who was it? It was another analyst I saw in here. And apparently there was a CNBC article There's that Citron Research. There was a CNBC article that came out over the weekend speculating they're going to win some big deals like BMW, Volkswagen, things like that. Plus another analyst upgrade, which I'm not seeing here, but I saw it somewhere. I don't know why it's not coming up in this feed. I think it was JP Morgan, if I'm not mistaken. So there's a lot of big names. It's have bullish price targets on this, and it exploded yesterday again, probably on both the CNBC article and the analyst upgrade, which I'm sorry I can't. One actually, it's the declining 200-day moving average. There's also a gap at 250. So I would say 250 to 260, depending on how quickly it moves towards that 200 DMA. So 250 to 260 is a target for INVZ, and big short position, I believe, as well. Yeah, it's 6 days to cover. So 6 days to cover with all of the big names behind this little micro cap company, $379 million market cap. And the big boys really betting on them taking over Laser, which has a $1 billion market cap. So intriguing. So I did actually add some INVZ yesterday to my long-term account. I see Carvana moving up in pre-market. That's nice. Okay, let me just quickly look at our case. Still green, but barely. Okay, anyway, let's go back. So INVZ, I like that as well. I'm going to move this up. In fact, I'm going to move this definitely into the top 5 because we have catalysts as well. Multiple catalysts on INVZ, not just the chart, and that's what I like. All right. All right. Carvana beyond, maybe towards 12, and then short. CRISPR, we talked about that chop. Yatra, little microcap company, $100 million. So we've been talking about these microcaps that have had really bad years. The time to buy them, we've been saying, is the third week of December. But, I make exceptions for that if we get like a major technical move. Yesterday had a big green candle over the 20 DMA. I'm seeing nonstop stories about India on my Twitter feed, how the India economy is doing great, the stock market, travel, everything's doing great. So I want a piece of this India travel stock. Big bounce above the 20 DMA. We know there's inside buybacks, a big buyback program in play. I don't think it's been started yet, or maybe it started yesterday. So quick immediate price target of 165. Not much room there yet left. 165. If we break 165, 170, 165 to 170, then you can make your move over to 2. So I'm starting to step into some of these microcaps early, like I did Drio because they had a catalyst, right? Stepped into Drio a little bit early. Now Drio, look for potential tax loss selling here. Maybe a move back to 130 in the next week or so. Look for bigger bargains in stocks like SMCI over the next week or so. Potentially, although they had the news of the additional tier 1. Actually, that's also why I stepped into SMSI early. They had the tier 1 come out, the European tier 1. So I stepped into that a little bit early. So a little detour we took in the conversation with these microcaps. All right. I now have a little Yatra. I have a little Drio. I have a little SMSI. Got into those a few weeks earlier than I anticipated because of catalysts on at least 2 of those 3, and maybe a sentiment improvement in Yatra and a little technical bounce as well with the insider buy. Multiple pillars starting to form. Not insider buy, stock buyback, company buyback. Multiple pillars starting to come together for Yatra. All right. Let's see what else we got going on. I missed the cybersecurity story, or maybe I didn't. I don't know if it was breaking news or something old about China. I saw like the story in the morning, and it seemed like recycled news. But then I saw Rumble was under major cyber attack yesterday, and it was down for several hours. So I haven't really had time to really research what happened with cybersecurity, but I did make a new watch list for cybersecurity. So now I got my cybersecurity watch list going because of all the geopolitical stuff going on in the world and potential hacking. So that's up there. And why do I mention that? Because I think there was a upgrade for Zscaler this morning. There it is. Raised to outperform from neutral by Marquee. Oh, what was the price target there? 200 to 215. Raised from 200 to 215. So that's something to potentially watch. But man, it's tough for me to have high conviction on these big market cap names unless the market's flying with it. So I don't know. I don't know what the market's going to do with that CPI print today. But Zscaler potential outperformance because of that upgrade today. Block, Square, also, we had something price target raised from 90 to 99. I love Square as a company, and it's been on fire over here. Let's just look at this bullish 2200 bullish cross. I believe there was something. Was Kathy Woods doing something on Square recently as well? I think there was. I think Kathy Woods was buying more Square recently. I saw that go by somewhere. Maybe it's not from this morning, but all right. Let me see what else. Let's see. So, or some news on CTLP, some news on Perry. Perry's making an acquisition, $100 million cash acquisition. The market likes that. A little bit odd. Usually markets don't like acquisitions. I guess it's immediately accretive or something. Haven't looked into it. Perry, very low PE company. I always wondered why it's so low. 11.49. Maybe this cash acquisition will help them move on up. So Lilly. Oh, we gave you an alert on Lilly drop because there was some study data coming out that, hey, when you stop using the drug, you gain weight again. I'm like, okay, isn't that good for them? Right. So I bought that dip, add a little bit more to my Lilly position. I'm like, okay, repeat customers. Woohoo. For Lilly, that is. Okay. Any case, I didn't think that was a big deal. So let's see if we can put something together. I just want to look at the news flow, see if there's anything else that came in the last half hour or so. Affirm and Blackhawk Network partner to provide consumers with more choice. So what? Used car prices rose in November. That's Carvana. Carvana shares rise about 1% in pre-market trading. Is that why it was up? Used car prices rose in November, bucking a recent streak of monthly declines. Maybe that's why Carvana popped. The next for used cars and trucks rose 1.6% last month, following a 0.8% drop and a drop. So used car pricing going up from a year ago. The index for used cars and trucks is down 3.9% from a year. All right, so that okay. Carvana's already in our top 5. Now we have a potential catalyst. I like that. All right, cool. Gives us a little bit more conviction in Carvana. You can read about that Perry acquisition if you'd like. See that there. Boeing, Avalon plans incremental order increase 737 MAX backlog. Quick facts. Boeing receives order for 40 737A jets. I've never really traded Boeing. I guess I've missed out. Look at that. Look at that move on Boeing. So I really don't know much about it, but you can take a look at that news if you want. Okay. All right, let's see. Tesla, Bitcoin, Shopify, sell announcement on Shopify. All right, let me just quickly look at our news feed again over here in our own app. See if there's anything else new that came in. Because I don't know what to make it today. Basically flat. Here we go. Oh, LAP wants to sell themselves, by the way. That came out yesterday. They're looking for a bid by the end of the month. A group of concerned investors in Terra Nova call for immediate separation of chairman and CEO role as company installation of new Hall qualified CEO. So a lot of drama there at LAP. They're trying to sell their company. Not the outcome I was looking for when I first got into that. Cassava Sciences. Okay, so wait, what was that? What was that? U.S. crude oil producers may have reached peak preferred. Okay, further downside. All right. So let's see if we can put something together here. Again, with a flat CPI, it's hard to know. It's hard to predict. Is this TLT going down to the 20 DMA at 91.59? My bias is towards downside or consolidation rather than upside. I would have liked to see light CPI, a CPI beat, right, in order to say, wow, TLT is going to break that 200-day moving average and risk is on. So I have a little bit of a cautious feel on this today. That's why I don't have a lot of conviction in these names I was going over with you this morning. And I'd like to stick with things that have some catalyst. So I think now that we saw that Carvana had a catalyst this morning, let's move that above INVZ. Okay. Yatra, I like that pop. I'm going to keep that number 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Keep it at number 6. It's a micro cap, not very liquid. Going to be tough to day trade, make money off Yatra, although maybe a good entry for the long term. Let's keep that in mind there. Zscaler and Square, AMAT. AMAT had an upgrade today as well. I think I missed to tell you that. By the way, AMAT yesterday, that big open green candle, because they're part of this New York State semiconductor center they want to build. I think a few companies involved with that. AMAT was one of them. Semiconductor shares rise following first U.S. grant under CHIPS Act. Is that the U.S. grant was probably, is that related to that New York center, or is it something else? Not sure if this is something different, but in any case, we liked AMAT after their earnings release and that big drop because it went down. Remember, I said this thing should be in the 170s or something? We did the re-rating calculation on earnings on AMAT. Only reason it went down was because of some criminal investigation, which long term will be nothing. It'll be a slap on the wrist. They'll pay a little bit of a fine, and that's it. So AMAT, I'm holding that in my IRA, and they got an upgrade this morning. I think it was from TD Cowen. Let's see what price target they put on it. Let's go back. AMAT news. There it is. 165 to 185. Nice price target increase. Okay, you know what? I'm going to put AMAT up higher on the list. Seems they have multiple catalysts going on. I like my catalyst stacked. I like my story trading four pillars. So we're going to put AMAT in the top 5 today for continuation with continued catalyst day after day on AMAT, along with good fundamentals. Really good fundamentals. Low PE. What is their PE here? Forward PE 20. Okay. And AMD, let's take a look at AMD. Where are we with that? We broke that key resistance level I was telling you about, which was, you can see it clearly on the chart. It was that candle there at about 132.85, I think was the number I gave you. Broke that. What's next on this? Not going to go up in a straight line. Look at this big cup breakout. Oh my gosh. Let's go to the weekly. We're on the weekly. Ooh, wow. This is crazy. Can AMAT head to 165? I mean, that was a big resistance area that it broke over here. You got some at 142. Where are we at? 132. Let's call it 142 first. You see these, right? This is what I'm looking at. I'm looking at this line right here. The top of these two candles, it coincide perfectly. It was resistance before the pop and then resistance after the pop. I don't know. What do you call that? Shoulder resistance, whatever you want to call it. That's what I see. So 142 could be the next swing target on AMD. All right. We're going to move AMD up on the list. Not necessarily for today, but as a swing. I like AMD and AMAT a lot here as a swing. For today, I'm thinking Carvana can outperform with that catalyst we had this morning and the strong pre-market action. We're very close to a breakout price. INVZ, I'm looking for continuation on that towards the 260 target. So INVZ, Carvana, we're definitely going to put those in the top 5. Beyond, we're watching this. Yeah, look, it could fly. Carvana, Beyond. So the thing with like Beyond, like the way that the stocks like Beyond move, there's no catalyst. You know what's happening? It's groups of investors on X, Twitter, on Discord, trying to do gamma squeezes. That's what's going on. They identify stocks that are highly shorted, and they all jump on it together. And then everyone gets excited about it, and everyone's pushing it, and everyone thinks they're smart. Great. Maybe they're smart. They're making money on this. I'm not. So maybe they're smart. I don't know. With 10, 11, 12, 13 days to cover. I just think it's a pump. I don't like participating in stocks like this because I think it's basically like fraud and a scam and a pump, right? I don't think the fundamentals are there to warrant this. I think they're going bankrupt. But, you know, it is what it is. And if you're into this and if you want to follow the money flow and everything, yeah, like Beyond could go to 12, but I'm just so reticent. I can't even say it right. I just don't want to put this in a top pick because it doesn't have the fundamental pillar, and I believe it's just a pump. And where does it get rejected? Where's that pump? Is it going to be a 12? You know, I don't know exactly where. 12 is a great spot to predict the 200 DMA. So I'm just going to watch this from a distance, let all the pumpers make their money, and maybe I'll short this thing at $12. But you got to admit, if I like the fundamentals on Beyond, I'd be so excited, right? I'd be like, oh my gosh, this thing's flying at $12. It broke 10, but I just don't like the fundamentals on Beyond, and for good reason. There's tons of articles on it. I mean, their demand is going down. Their costs are through the roof. They're losing so much money. They have a lot of debt. I mean, there's nothing good to say about Beyond. So it's just simply a market manipulation. But any case, all right, you can look at that. You can look at that as it's up there. All right, a top 5 pick. You know, 10 to 12, and then short it maybe. Okay, but I can't have conviction that it's going to 12 because of what I just explained to you. All right. So let's see here. It's 9:28 a.m. I'm going to have to put Carvana and INVZ at the top. All right. Bitcoin already had its big bounce off the 20 DMA. I'm not sure it makes sense to chase it here, but I like it. I like that exposure for the intermediate term, as long as it's over the 20 DMA. So that's good. Could maybe see some continuation. I just have ARGT here as a symbolic representation of Argentina stocks. So take your pick. I'm in YPF. If you like Melly, whatever it is, I think it's good still. I think this has legs. But and then Yatra we talked about. And these are kind of top ideas in here that could outperform today. AMAT, AMD, Zscaler, Square, all of these, good to keep your eye on in case you see a trend for them. If you want to day trade or something, these are good stocks to take a look at. All right, we still got Blue and Air on our radar as well. We're going to be following. But after all that, 30 minutes of talking, we got like Carvana, INVZ, probably my two highest conviction ones. And if I were a pumper, beyond. Okay. That's about it. Let's see what the macro is doing. TLT turning around, risk turning around, everything kind of flat. Yeah, look, I think it's prudent. If you're up big on certain things, I think it's prudent to start like raising a little bit of cash if you didn't already ahead of the CPI in case there's a larger market pullback. If that TL9, he could have a sharp market pullback. You could have RK easily get a 46.10, $2.50 down very easily. Okay. So it might be a good idea to raise some cash in order to buy some things cheaper. All right. And Costco keeps on flying. Let's see. Carvana 4087, 4080. Again, that key level. Well, first there's this one, 4134, then 4212, folks. 4134, 4212, and then hopefully a boom to the mid 50s in the intermediate term. BA moving up on that news. IBM 52-week high. Zscaler 1.1%. So we keep an eye on there. Oh, oil's down 3%. Bummer. I had a a couple call options on oil. Well, I still got a few weeks left on that. I see a lot of red. All right, let's look at the macro. Everything's red. Carvana. Looks like we picked a good one because everything's red, man. And Carvana 4134. So it hit 4148. So Carvana looking good here. There we go. Let's make Carvana number one. Look, there we go. Now cleanly broke this level. So next one again, 4212. We're about there. Okay, yes, Carvana. Let's see. I think I bought just a tiny amount yesterday. Let me see if I have it. I think I do. Let's see. Cool. All right. I added a little bit of Carvana. I had some. I added a little bit more. Okay, so Carvana up there, top pick for today. INVZ number 2. And after that, and CRISPR is a disappointment. Square, Zinwell Series, CTLP. Wow, blue sucks. Jeez, down 7.5%. 284, so 269 is the low that it's got to hold. Let's check the macro. Carvana, INVZ. There's Beyond. All right, I'm putting it up here, but I can't really endorse it because it doesn't have the fundamental pillar. Okay, so here we go. So Beyond is up there, 1040. It's near the high of the day. There it is. It just got an alert, 1044, 1047. It looks like it wants to go to 12. And I'll be there by some puts at 12 if it gets there. All right, let's take a look at this macro. IWM down 0.75%. Series down. Oh, well. Bought a little bit of Series yesterday, hoping we get a disclosure from Warren Buffett that he bought more yesterday. Small amount I got. Carvana, INVZ, Beyond. Still looking good as the top 3. With their upgrade this morning. 157 yesterday's high, or is that yesterday's high? Let's move AMAT up a little bit. Seems to be bucking the trend. Beyond AMAT. Wow, everything's red. Tesla, 233.83 support. If you don't hold that, we could see that 200 DMA at 225 as Avgo hits in 52-week high. Man, I really shifted my portfolio in the past year to more big caps. I still don't have enough. Those big caps are just easy. You just hold them and they just hit new all-time highs all the time. Like maybe my IRA is like 50% big caps now. It used to be like 0% big caps. I used to be 100% micro caps in my IRA for years. Now I'm at like 40, 50% big caps. But man, all you got to do is buy the big names and just forget about it. Seems, at least lately, that's how it's been the last couple of years. All right. Carvana, INVZ, Beyond, high a day there, 1050. AMAT keeps going, high of day. So AMAT, I think we got 4 good stocks here for you. $937. Zoom into Carvana. $41.96. Oh wow, that broke the pre-market high. So 41.50. Okay, Carvana looking good. AMAT. You know what? Because I like the fundamentals of AMAT better, gotta put it above Beyond. 157.40. Wow, look at that. Okay, here we go. AMAT 157.42. I just hit it. It just broke 157.42. So 157.50. Whoa. Okay. AMAT. Can we make a move towards 164? Might have to add more AMAT in my swing. I think I'm going to do that. Let's see here. I'm going to buy something. All right. AMAT. I'm going to pick up a little more AMAT here. What? Okay. Picked up some more AMAT. Beyond Hive Day. Jeez. Man, I hate it when low quality companies go up. Just hate it. All right. Because I'm not in it. Well, you know what? INVZ is not being volatile, so let's just move it down to number 4. So we got, what's going on here? Let's see how NVIDIA is doing. Let's see how Celsius is doing. Celsius 48.30 and then 47.28. Those are the next major supports on Celsius, and hopefully the very last ones before it takes off. Air 2483. Let's stay above 2483 and let's get a catalyst. I'm very concerned about the price action air, guys. I'm going to move it up just so I can watch it closer because I do have a nice size position. And I may have to just have a technical stop on it, at least to reduce my position. I already reduced a little bit yesterday. So I may have to consider reducing more if it closes below 2483 today. Okay. Oh, Carvana's faking us out. Let's make this an inside candle. If Carvana goes below 38.61, that'll be a concern. It's only beyond this near the high of the day now. Everything else has pulled back pretty sharply. Is everything pulling back sharply? It is. RK is now down over 1%. Let's see, RK, zoom into this. If RK loses the bottom of this candle, 47.50, then you can have a sharp move down to 46.07. So beware of that. I might hedge with some RK puts. PDD. Oh man, I may have gotten suckered into Carvana here at the wrong time. Low is 38.61. $236. So NVIDIA, reason I looked it up, there's a couple catalysts on it. After it went down after the AMD went up because of the ChatGPT business they got. But then a couple catalysts were saying it's oversold, and also there was a push by the U.S. government for NVIDIA to sell chips to China. And they mentioned that. I may have put the link in it or something in our chat room yesterday. So someone consider that. ANF keeps hitting high as well. All right, Beyond, not doing anything. Carvana not really working out. It's right at a key support level here. You know what though? This level here, 36.53, held very nicely. 36.50. 36.50 is an important level there if you're going to be swinging this. All right, it's 9:47. TLT so far is an inside candle. RK. Carvana. AMAT Beyond INVZ. Cantaloupe Perry, USO, Blue. Look the whoa, Celsius 48.30. All right, I gotta move this to monitor. I'm gonna take it up to the top so I can monitor that for the support levels. 48.30 and then 47.28. I'll be adding more if it gets there. To either of those numbers. AMAT turning into the winner of the day. It's high of day. It's 9:48. Usually our trends become solidified at between 9:45 and 10:30. So we're entering this time period where we may see a trend that AMAT's going to be a leader for the day, potentially. Move that right to the top. INVZ, high of day. Nice. So AMAT, INVZ, watching Celsius for bottom. Carvana tricked us, man. It's guess it's, let me see what the risk stocks are doing. They're all down except Beyond is now up only a little bit. Cyber security. Oh yes, INVZ. New high of day, 243. Look how the list changed. This is why you got to watch the price action. Maybe have a little patience before you play. So AMAT and INVZ becoming the leaders here as we approach 10 a.m. AMAT and INVZ. Okay. It's 9:50. Let's call this now. Our new top two picks for the day, AMAT and INVZ. I think they were both in the top 5 or 6. Yeah, they were. We just jostled things around. We had the wrong early call on Carvana. That's why I pays to have some patience. So I ended up buying a couple call options on both Carvana and AMAT. AMAT one's working out now. Carvana's not. Okay. So I'm going to end the show here and update our room that we've observed price action and made AMAT and INVZ our top 2 picks for the day. Good luck, everyone. And look at NVIDIA flying. That's something to look at too. All right. Good luck, everyone. Take care. See you soon.